Yes, sir！ 各位现场所有的球迷朋友们 ，Are you ready？ 最大的噪音声 ，Make some noise！ 各位梦想家人们，持续回家来打季后赛关键的第4战。今天我们非常需要大家，一样跟我们保持住热情，拿下这一场重要的比赛，从头到尾都燥起来。现场我们知道有国王队的球迷朋友，但是我们不担心。 最热情的球迷朋友就是我梦家人，我们今天拿出最可以的加油声，发出我们最大的能量，一起守住今天重要关键的比赛。我们可以非常的需要各位保持住我们热情，来听一下大家最燥的加油声，感受一下喽！梦想家，梦想家，梦想家。 关键的第4站，需要在座的各位集结能量，穿上我们为大家准备的应援 T 恤，待会一起跟着女孩、跟着幽灵兽以及 Richard 来迎接重要的比赛。谢谢你们，谢谢。 好，来到关键的时间，我们要谢谢大家对我们的支持，谢谢各位球迷朋友一直以来大力支持台湾篮球、支持梦想家的合作伙伴。花一点时间来介绍一下，首先谢谢教育部体育署、台中市政府、台中运动局、彰化县政府、中华民国篮球协会，谢谢赞助台新梦想家的所有的伙伴们，感谢最挺篮球的好伙伴台新银行、台新人寿、台新证券。 海硕集团值得您信赖的国际海空运物流公司，台旭近60年的肉品专家，联区建设好还要更好，联区建设那么 Super 亚太区最大潮流交易平台，心想科技以 VO6 电动车充电服务补电超轻松，暗黑破坏神4 6月6号全球重磅上市。 UP 直播全世界，让全世界看见你的美。金发家祖传绿豆沙，TT 烟征服法国的台湾面膜，曼黛玛莲穿的保养品，享受自信的内在美学。朝日堂烧肉与鸳鸯锅煮的天堂，奥迪和顺利汽车未来进行式，风格美学诊所 Converse。 100年美国经典品牌，秀传医疗体系引领国际医疗专业，崩阿寡一样，少一点想要，都一样美好。最后，谢谢台北福华大饭店，真诚福华心，服务最用心，掌声送给他们，作为梦想家最强有力的后盾。谢谢你们的支持，持续目光留在场中，欢迎我们认为全联盟最佳啦啦队 Plus 力年度啦啦队，我们心中的 No.1 Formosa 60女孩们 ，Let's go！
내가 제일 잘 나가 내가 제일 잘 나가 내가 제일 잘 나가 제일 name is CL at 21. It's been a long time coming, but we're here now. And we about to set the roof on fire, baby. You better get yours, cause I'm getting mine.
掌声鼓励 ，Thank you girls， Formosa sexy。要来欢迎新北国王球员进场。新北国王2号林世轩，3号陈俊南，9号李凯燕。 10号简佑哲，19号林金宝，24号洪志善，25号 Number 25聂欧马 ，Number 15 50号 Davis。新北国王先发，1号林书伟 ，Number 5号穆伦斯，6号杨敬明。 17号苏世轩 ，Number 15 55号 Manigo 曼尼高，新北国王篮球队总教练 Head Coach Ryan， 助理教练 Assistant Coach Capola， 球员发展顾问许浩成，总理毛嘉恩。福尔摩沙台新梦想家秉持铁血的斗志，打造强悍的战场。梦想家人们，我们汇聚能量，携手一同并肩作战。 我们不怕，持续征战，可以吗 ？Come on， Let's welcome Formosa Taishin Team。 All right， 我们可以，我们一定可以，相信胜利会属于最强悍的我们。相信场上的每一位伙伴，在座的每一位家人，拿出你们最卖力的尖叫声，携手拿下本场比赛胜利。Here we go, Dreamer！ And now number 0 号梦想家的板凳暴徒陈真区。Number 8 8号来自彰化的光速4分卫绿色闪电王正源。Number 11 11号标速跑车赛德克狙击手 ，Ladies and Gentlemen， 吕俊基。And now number 14 14号前场压迫专家，28公尺大锁，伏兵前夫吴永胜。Number 18 18号梦想后场的强力大锁，防守很强，姚胜彦。 26 26号梦想家最后一道防线，台湾魔兽李德伟。Number 13 30号3分代名词出手就准备命中吴松伟。88 88号禁区铁壁梦想护盾周柏成。And now starting five 先发。Number 28号梦想家后场魔术师全能射手卢冠良。 南美的第135号来自土耳其的全能前锋土制炸弹 Alkan Karumin。团体队23号攻守前辈的梦想，元老台湾尾的谢肯定。南美的第30号来自威斯康星地图防守兵器火锅制造机 Brandon Gomez。南美传统碗21号台湾男篮传奇射手美梦狙击手道格金豪。Formosa 台区梦想家总教练赖柏林，助理教练陈思念，Assistant Coach Thomas， 助理教练刘文和，球员发展总监田磊，总经理韩俊凯，双方球员掌声握手致意，进行最后的热身时间。Everybody， 最重要的今天的比赛，需要大家持续的投入。来几个口号提醒大家一下，待会跟着女孩们一起来敲打你的折扇，同时呢，一起跟我们喊 Dreamers， 准备了 Ready Music。OK， 敲打你的折扇，跟着女孩 Dreamers， 听到你们的声音 Dreamer。OK， 保持住这个节奏，每一个关键的防守都需要你们大声的来喊 defense， 同时一样敲打你手中的折扇 ，Let's go defense！ 我们来练习一下，培养大家的默契。defense 造起来，耶！好的，感谢大家持续锁定。等一下，跟着女孩们一起来准备从头造到尾的球赛。最佳主场、最佳第二人就是你们喽 ！Let's go， 加油！谢谢女孩。
You know what spreads faster than any virus? It's fear. Now when it comes to fear, you can either forget everything and run. I said,
胜利之歌敲起来喽，来热身一下。
从 side 一起的共鸣，接近了 hash。 加速的世界也就像百老汇，每个 U turn 对着水，空气它稀薄像盐水，氧气刺激每一条神经。Body Mary， 吸引力法则的效应让我觉得很犀利，承受每个银河系就像电影星际效应。I don't wanna talk shit， you think it's funny？Your time is money。P.LEAGUE， 我是汗水的燃烧我的正义。Oh my P.LEAGUE， 把我每分每秒掌控在我手里。Oh my P.LEAGUE， 配得起像力货币，就让伤不再冲到底，分秒必争撑下去，谁输赢看为定。
Gentlemen, seniors and youth, a little home cooking never felt so nice. After returning home down 2 games in the series, the Dreamers played with a strong sense of urgency and inspiration in Game 3. Ilkan Common, Brandon Gilbeck, and Jay Buckets Chen Zhenjie combined for 81 points, leading to the team to their first victory of the series. On the other side, the Kings, in 2 playoff runs up till now, have not won on the road. Can they come out tonight and play their game like the #1 seeded team in the regular season? After all, they were 13-7 in the regular season for the best road record in the league. On a balmy Saturday with a CPBL game going on next door, we see the crowd filing in. Plenty of Kings fans traveling on a Thursday night as well. Expecting another sold-out crowd, maybe a little bit of nerves in the stands though, as the Dreamers, for the 2nd year in a row, facing elimination after the first 2 games. Here in Intercontinental Basketball Stadium is the new Taipei Kings against the Formosa Taishin Dreamers in Game 4 of this best-of-5 series, where the winner will enter the Plus League Finals. I'm Ryan Chen, your English play-by-play, joined by Kirk Long.
Yeah, great to be here, Ryan. We've had some blowout games, but I expect this one to be a little bit closer.
Last night behind Beast's 29 points, the Braves swept the Young Pilots and take another step towards their title defense as the 2-time defending Plus League champions in a best-of-7 game series. Though if the Kings advance, they will have the #1 seed and home court advantage. But if the Dreamers can pull off this game and the next one, it'll be a series that starts at Taipei Heping Gymnasium. So the Dreamers switching things up. They have their white and green Seatown jerseys for this one. On the Mandarin broadcast, Xiaohu Hu Jingqi and Caibao Cai Jingjing will be on the call. 球迷朋友们，你找到了 Plus League 的英文转播，要看小胡跟情景的讲评，当然就按照中文的连接。谢谢您收看，记得我们的转播都要按赞。One of the biggest storylines from the 3rd game of the series, of course, early on, the Dreamers had scoring from their imports, but the player who's going to get the most love before tip is going to be #0, Chen Chen Zhenjie, who got 22 real important points. Some, of course, in rhythm, but others had a little luck involved, but that's kind of what the Dreamers needed and were lacking from the first 2 games of the series.
Yeah, he was just huge off the bench, came in, made that impact right away like you talked about, Ryan, and you know, he never really slowed down, and the Kings had some moments to make runs, but it seemed like Chen continued to have an answer and come up with some big shots when his team needed it most to keep that momentum, and he was surely fun for the fans to watch, and his teammates enjoyed seeing him have that success as well.
A career high 22 points in the playoffs, beating his previous mark of 18 points. He actually elevates his play in the playoffs. In the first season, he actually averaged 8 points per game in the Dreamers run in that season. Last year, maybe he was a little bit down, but this year, 11 points per game so far through 3. That's actually been a nice bit of scoring, and the graphic as put on by our colleagues on the broadcast is Jieke Buyao, but the other Jieke is done with his series. It's Beast Lin Zijie, but Chen Zhenjie despite being a rather younger player, not seeing that many minutes during the regular season, if not a consistent role, has been able to do it time and time again in these playoffs.
Yeah, and these bench players will continue to make a difference for Game 4 today. You know, that second team that comes in, a lot of times the spark and whether they can carry on the momentum or not will be big. So the Dreamers will need Chen and their other supporting cast to continue to step up for them today if they want to extend this series to a Game 5.
He was the player interviewed in the pregame from Taipei City, but spent some time in the States.
这种信心跟氛围是团队大家一起建立起来的，就是每一次的出手，不管对方是谁，然后大家都对那个人很有信心，所以是整个团队建立起来在每个人身上的。所以我觉得大家就是互相鼓励吧，不管有没有进，或是不管有投球有没有进，然后大家都是给很多鼓励，所以会让每个场上的球员更有信心去做出手。这样，梦想家篮球就像是在逆境中，大家都更团结吧。就是有些球队或者有些人会觉得逆境中大家会放得不开，或是会感受到很多压力，然后失去了很多团结的意识什么的。但我觉得梦想家篮球就是大家很团结，不管是在什么情况下，大家都想要大家一起，像我们很常讲的口号是 together， 然后大家想要一起团结的赢下比赛这样。
So just sharing that everyone has confidence in each other. It's a team culture. They've encouraged each other a lot through the makes and misses, and asked about the pressure the Dreamers have been playing in the later half of the regular season, where they were in a two-team playoff race with the Steelers, saying that at this point, pressure is something that they actually are pretty decent at handling in these playoff runs. Coach Lai Bo-ling, of course, taking over for the team partway through the season. And they've responded pretty well after a little bit of a stumble in the middle. But facing the Kings on the other side, who you know will be making their adjustments, as they had the lofty goal of not losing 2 in a row in the regular season. And pushed into a starting role is James Su Sixuan, excuse me. Now his performance has seen a little bit of a drop, but in there again at the starting lineup.
他们或是 Q 啊、榜哥他们就是有跳出来跟我们做一些沟通，然后他们也是说就是希望我们不要因为输一场球，然后就是太去影响到我们自己的节奏，就是还是要找回我们自己的一个原有的那种状态。那就是我自己觉得也是输这场球其实也不是坏事啊，就是对我们来说是一个蛮好的警惕。像昨天教练团跟我们开会的时候，就是也有说要把接下来的比赛就是每一场当做 Game 7的比赛在打，就是那个心态要是，因为像上一场梦想家的心态就是没有退路，那我们自己可能心态上面没有准备好，那我们就是经过昨天的沟通跟开会，那就是希望今天这场我们要把心态给调整。
Su Sixuan sharing that after the game, the locker room message from their veteran was to turn the page, and perhaps the loss could be a good thing for them to understand the sense of urgency they needed, but they want to treat the rest of the playoff run as their last game. Fang Han will be the crew chief of this evening's officiating crew as we go to the starting of 5 for the Kings. Joseph Lin, Kenny Manigo, Amigo Yang Jingming, James Su Sixuan, and Byron Mullins is back in there as a starter. And for the Dreamers, the same set as the last 2 games: Kenny Chen, Ryan Lu Guanyang, Doug Jianhao, Hilkan Kaman, and Brandon Gilbeck. We're about ready to go with the Kings in their black New Taipei jersey and the mentioned Dreamers in their white and green Z-Town set. The tip is up, and Kenny Manigal will pull it down. So starting off on a strong footing is important for both teams in this series. Amigo on the flare to Joseph Lin in the corner. Yes.
That's a start that the Kings love to see. Joe Lin was 0 for 4 from three-point. He still had a great game assist and other areas, but did not shoot the ball from outside well. So to see him get an early look like that is positive for the Kings.
And then a first shot miss by the Dreamers. Things going to plan. Kalaman trying to front Byron Mullins, who turns around, working with Kenny Manigault. The double comes out to the pair. His three overshot. Was dealing with food poisoning, especially in the last game, as Doug tried it from two, short. The fight for the rebound eventually won by James, but Mullins good enough to get the start. Finally joins the team on offense. He definitely looks a little bit labored out there. Working with Amigo on the handoff, then going back door. Defense comes, and it was in time as James dug down there, but an errant pass by the Dreamers. And look, it's Amigo cherry picking his way to two more. Kalaman going to the basket with the left hand, but in and out. Manigault on Kenny Chen, slipping left and passing. Amigo got the three. And a clean, crisp 8-0 start for the new Taipei Kings, forcing the Dreamers to take an early timeout in this one. We're less than 2 minutes in, and already our first break of the action. It's the Kings and Dreamers here in the Plus League playoffs.
来丢礼物喽！欢迎两位把礼物丢给大家。
Leave a like for the Plus League playoffs. A 8-0 start for the new Taipei Kings. Now, talking about a good head start in the game, in the first game of the series, Kings 10-0 until Brandon Gilbeck hit a two-pointer with 8:44 left in game one. Here, a mistaken transition, a cherry pick layup, and then Amigo, though, making an adjustment with his corner-made three in game two. The Kings had two separate 6-0 runs, with a closer first quarter finish, 28-24. But in game three, the Dreamers jumped out 13-4, and then a 7-0 run after a Kings 8-minute 35 timeout. That's how strong they play, but need to turn things around quick as Doug floats it up to traffic. 8 seconds left. They don't have to hurry, but they do get a 3-second call as Gilbeck took a shot to the face.
Yeah, that was a big point. The Dreamers really winning the rebounds. As we see Kenny with a backcourt steal. Finally gets their fans off their seats a little bit, cheering. But the rebounds, Ryan, was a big part of a game three win for the Dreamers, being positive there. And so the Kings, I think, here early on are going to try to do some extra effort on the offensive side to not let them get some easy offensive putbacks.
They sturdy up the defense as Amigo runs into a wall. Now in the half court, too high for the Dreamers. Kenny swipes down, and Kenny Manigault, that is. Dreamers hang on with Kalaman over the top to Doug down low. The Dreamers all over it. That one's out of bounds. It'll be basketball for the Kings. It's Manigault down to James. Retreating out to Amigo. Working left and right, slipping the pass. Contact, no call. Byron Mullins can't clean it up. And here come the Dreamers on the run. With a deep three, Doug, too strong. One thing about both these teams, they want to push the pace when they can. Manigault with his back to the basket. Getting the screen down low to James, who hesitates. Mullins mid-range and in and out. The scoring has dried up after that first timeout. No traditional point guard in for the Dreamers. They have it down to Kahneman. Back to Kenny. He lines up the three. It clanks out. Behind the back, Manigault gets it out. It's Amigo and Mullins. Pull up three on the way. Off the mark, and Big Sushi doing some work. His numbers, we'll see in a later graphic, reduced with every passing game. Making his presence felt in this one as Amigo lines up a deep three. It's in.
Yeah, you can't leave Amigo Yang like that, especially late in the shot clock. No choice but to shoot it. He had plenty of space that time. He was 4 for 6 from three-point, one of the only bright spots shooting-wise from the Kings.
Answers right away. He had a relatively quiet game in the last one. 6 points on 3 of 7 shooting. Amigo spins around as James will line up a three of his own and a perfect swish.
Yeah, Big Sushi James doesn't have to try to force too much. When the opportunity comes, he just needs to take advantage of it. So far, nice offensive rebound. Hitting the open three is just what the Kings need him to do.
Kenny on the run is off as Amigo tracks it down. It's again Mullins and Amigo from the top, and there's a foul and an illegal screen, they say. And it looks like earlier rotations going on for... No, Byron Mullins looked like he wanted to get out of the game. Though, not happy about the illegal screen, obviously, but he was the one who went to the bench, and the ref said that the Kings looked like they had to sub there. But in is Quincy Davis, who was one of the bright spots for the Kings in the last game, as Kahneman putting on the shake and bake. Now against Amigo, ball slips out. He does have 7 seconds left. Poked away again, and finally a foul call. There's a foul on the play, but not very inspired offense. As you get another look. Referee's right on top of it. Kahneman driving, but blocked. Quincy Davis was there on the back line. Joseph going to the basket, but blocked out of bounds by Gilbeck. A little bit extra stuff going on afterwards that the Kings bench picked up right away.
Yeah, one of the things you have to fear when you're on a fast break against the Dreamers, and Doug Creighton sort of knew he just needed to slow Joe Lynn down because Gilbeck was right behind him trying to time these steps for this block right here.
Of course, leading the series in block shots. Sagging way off of James on the defensive side as Amigo pulls up for 2 and calms things down for the Kings. Down low and an early foul on the hold, so that'll be 3 team fouls against the Kings.
That really worked well early for the Dreamers, just those early steals by Gilbeck. Byron Mullins didn't start last game, so Gilbeck was really able to take advantage of that at the start of the game, and we see it here again early. Quincy Davis, a little bit too much holding to try to wrap around and get a steal there.
Kenny getting it down to the middle. Left open for the jam. Still down in the game. Amigo strokes another one. A hot start for last year's MVP. Also a good candidate this year, but Amigo trying to turn around a poor performance in last year's playoffs as Kenny goes strong and Coleman stuffs it back down. Kings want to bring back Byron Mullins as they get set up in the half court. Joe fires away from three, and that's a knockdown.
So far, it's been a different shooting night here early on to start for the Kings, who struggled from beyond the arc last game, but they sure have found their rhythm here this evening.
6 for 7 to start the game. Gilbeck screens Ryan, spins through the double out to Kenny. He'll try from the left side, no. Gilbeck had the long arms, but pokes it out of bounds. On the Dreamer side, already 4 turnovers on the game, is getting a look at Amigo with 13 points to his name. Haji's in there as Joseph got it off, but the stop for the Dreamers, and here they come on the other way. Haji will try for 3, too strong. Amigo going right at Doug. Down low to Mullins, who has it blocked, and Aji comes away with it. The Dreamers turning up the defense. Going to the basket as there will be a foul. Mullins did get back, but all he could do was foul Brandon Gilbeck, who took his share of hits in the last game. And you see the hands, not vertical, but the refs say they got a lot of basketball, but the other way on the elbows. (22-9). Real good start for the Kings, especially when any team, of course, in any basketball capacity hits their threes that can pull apart real quick. Now Gilbeck was pretty solid from the line in the last game, but misses the first here. In fact, 9 of 12. That was one key in the game 2 days ago too. Kings had 7 fouls in the first quarter, giving the Dreamers 12 free throws at the line. They converted on 10 of them.
Yeah, it was those easy seals underneath with helping Gilbeck get to the line a lot, and that did really set the tone and slow down the game, which I think favored the Dreamers in game 3. So far tonight, it's been all speed and open shots for the Kings.
Joseph Lynn this time gets the finger roll. His first score of the game. Kings defense rotates as Coleman tries the deep 2. Now going the other way, Byron Mullins tries the seal and poked out of bounds. Sundru Nan and Kyle will get in rather early of this game, as just beating Aji down the floor was Joseph Lynn.
Yeah, Joe Lynn just with some amazing quickness there. Once you give him a step in front of you, he's going to get to the rim, and the weak side defense wasn't ready for his drive on that last possession.
Doway is in as Joe has to find the basketball, and there was contact on the play. And free throws for number 1. Again, going at Aji. Lost it for a second. So Joseph Lynn will step up to the line, having a regular season free throw percentage of 63%. The playoffs before tonight only hit on 5 of 12. Another free throw made. A little bit of pressure, and Chen is the one tasked with bringing it up court. And going out of bounds, a turnover on the Dreamers. Chen getting a healthy and hearty high five from Coach Ryan Marchand on the sideline.
Yeah, now we got some new guards for New Taipei, the Kings in. We have Kyle, we have Steven. They didn't have really too bright of a game 3, but their defensive presence has always been consistent, and they have a new day ahead of them here.
Quincy Davis screens for Mullins, who got the roll on that layup. And a dangerous pass as Aji finally tracks it down. Harman trailing the play, puts up the 3. Dreamers right now stuck at 10 points, 2.5 minutes to go in the quarter. Kyle to the reverse, overshoots it, but Davis and Taishin combined for a rebound. Joseph Lynch first touch on the possession, no good. Jeff Wu over to Chen. Kings defense has been so much better to start this game, as Chen kind of ran into Karaman there.
Yeah, I'd agree with your assessment there, Ryan. So far, the Dreamers just really lacking any identity on the offensive side. They're being sped up, but they're not getting the looks that they would like, and just not a whole lot of confidence or rhythm right now. And you know, still first quarter, still early, but at the same time, you know, that lead continues to grow for the Kings, and a lot of momentum has switched here early in Game 4 that we didn't see in Game 3.
Karaman had the strongest Dreamers performance in Game 2, where they took the lead, but their performance fell off in the later part of the game. And in the action on Thursday was again the leading scorer with 30 points. He will get his first rest as Gilbeck returns to action. Venti's fresh in the game, with Mullins and Quincy Davis on the handoff action. Seeking back on his Venti was tried from 3, but that one swirls out as Mullins to Q, slam.
Yeah, great effort by Byron Mullins, offensive rebound, and Derek sort of lost track of Quincy Davis there, which you can't do.
This shot as Davis picks up the rebound on the defensive side. That was a big point in yesterday's game, is the effort plays. Of course, team facing elimination like the Dreamers really can't afford more second opportunities. This time they jump into the pass. Racing down, Achi has it stripped from the side, but Gilbeck takes it to the hole, and Derek cleans up the mess.
That's going to have to be those 50-50 balls, those offensive rebounds, loose ones that the Dreamers won in Game 3. They're going to have to somehow switch that roll back to happening here today as well.
Derek lead away, played less than 10 minutes in the last game, didn't even take a shot attempt. The team coming away with a victory as Davis tries a deep 3. That's no good.
Gilbeck had Quincy Davis all the way under the rim, but Dreamers not able to locate him early enough in the offense. Get bailed out with a foul on the pick and roll. But so far for the Kings, you know, it's just a different mental approach here in Game 4. I don't know if some of it could be just seeing, you know, the Braves already sweep the Pilots. They're in the finals, and you sort of come out with a different approach as the #1 seed, saying, hey, you know, we need to lock up our spot here too. We want to rest a little bit before the finals, and they've come out and meant all business here so far today in quarter 1.
Derek Lidoway sinking the first free throw. The Dreamers so far 5 of 6 from the line, as an early entry into the game, number 18 Yang Seung-yin is in there for defense. Right away, guarding point guard Venti, as there's less than a second difference, shot clock to first quarter clock. Dreamers do have fouls to give, as Derek switched on to the point guard. The double at Kyle, somebody's open, is Centurion will find it, beating the clock, but a missed three. An impressive made shot down court, but it won't count. The Dreamers catching their footing a little bit, but it's the Kings coming out strong with the 30-16 lead after the first quarter. Game 4 here in the playoffs between the Dreamers and Kings back after this.
来了，这边篮筐后面，篮筐后面，2楼的不要让我们这边人好不好？我觉得不够大声，可以，非常可以，来了，3、2、1。来，这边的球迷朋友，这边的球迷朋友，让我听到一下你们的声音好不好？等一下我们做一个杯盖，小杰来做，我们小杰在下面，上面，也不在下面。这边的球员还有一罚，会走一个。Sorry， 反过来。我现在跑这边，小杰这边。所以第一句 ，4 5 switch spot， 一样的路线哦。解布在这里，打完之后过来。阿基过来之后，我要你给小这个解布。所以，他给你了，你可以挡到人。阿基你给解布。Playoff game, they have 1 foul. Because how we guard defense.
Plus the championship trophy keychains, another playoff merch. Get yours at pleagueofficial.com/shop. On May 26th, Byron Mullins shared the scene of him getting some fluids to combat the food poisoning he had, as we see the struggles the Kings bigs had against the effort of the Dreamers, and particularly the rebounding side. As hard as Quincy Davis was putting in the work, their rotations were definitely thrown way off. They did try to start Omar in there, but he only ended up playing 5 minutes of the game. Mullins 23 minutes, Quincy Davis 28, trying to man the center position for the Kings. Now points in the paint was to the Dreamers 68 to the Kings 52. Chen lines up a three, he banks it.
Nice set play after the quarter for the Dreamers. Chen, hot hand from last game. Good open look there, coming off the down screen.
Pick and pop as James misses the fadeaway. Achi leading the break. Not even looking Jeff Wu's way on the left side. And up to Aji, he'll try from deep, and it's good. Just like that, a 6-0 run. It's Venti looking for Q. Swing it to the side as Kyle will get the and one again, taking on Aji on the baseline.
Yeah, we did not see too many plays like that last game from Kyle, and he definitely has the explosiveness to create those kind of moves, as we see the replay of Achi's three-point shot, but just two explosive guards going back and forth at each other.
They're going to get JJ Janyota in for Venti. not presented much of a threat so far in the series. But Lee Kai-yin averaging 6.7 points per game. A little bit down from his regular season average of 8.9. Of course, one of the first off the bench for the Kings after last year being one of their main guys in the backcourt. Again, downscreen for Jay Chen. He takes it off the run, and on his own follow-up, Derek will eventually pick up his teammate again. Down court, though, Lee Kai-yin avoids Gilbeck's block. And they have a mismatch now. Former teammates with Yulong. They pass out of it, though, as JJ left in some space. He cleans it up. With a word to the ref, but Aji pushes ahead. Doing some contact, there'll be another whistle. More free throws coming up for the Dreamers as you get in a look at JJ. Fresh in the game, stroking it from the outside. Mullins will check in at the same time. Kings having a little huddle with Jeff Wu playing the spy. Achi hits on the first free throw. Achi is one player that the Dreamers counted on a lot during the regular season, but so far in the playoffs, a rather, shall we say, modest 9.7 points, only hitting on 1 of 11 threes. A couple free throws for the trip. And the Dreamers' deficit is now 10. Poked away. It'll stay with the Kings, and Derek applauded for his efforts.
Yeah, he didn't get a lot of minutes, speaking of Derek, in that third game. But so far here today, just those tip-ins have been big. Teammates miss shots. He's been battling down inside for those offensive putbacks. And he's been playing some solid defense here on this side of the court as well.
Hook pass, and Jay ends up with the basketball, but having to bounce it off his teammate. So only half the effort for a good defensive play, as they can't get possession. That was Doe with the first touch, but then a little bit of a slip of the basketball there. Out to James, given a step by Gilbeck. Now Manigault trying to attack. He will get the foul. They say it's on, I think, Jeff Wu. They'll take it out of bounds. That is the second Dreamers team foul, as indicated by the white, then turning red bars on the bottom of the score bug. Okan Kamen will check into the game. Kyle looking for his options as from the high post, James fires away, and Mullins had that one taken away, but again, ball out of bounds off of the Dreamers.
Yeah, those can be devastating. Fans trying to just cheer on their team. You can see the Dreamers fighting with all of their effort here defensively and trying to grab these rebounds. Just last couple possessions, just slipping out of their fingers.
Mullins and Kyle right out of the corner. The fadeaway is missed. A chance to cut it to a single digit, and a foul on the perimeter. It's Kenny Manigault. Here you see the reach and the touch of the hip. Kenny Manigault played 42 minutes in game 3, sticking in there despite the big deficit as Kalaman tries to rise and fire. Nine minutes left in the second quarter. Pick and roll with Mullins. Now Kyle and James, the 3 is on the way, and JJ pulls it down. The Dreamers get the stop. But so far on the game, the Kings with 7 offensive rebounds. Aji, Kalaman taking his time as Kenny Manigault forces the errant dribble. Kenny Manigault drills the 3.
Manigault was 1 for 9 from 3-point in game 3. Not a great shooting night for him, but so far he's just picking his rhythm, doing what his team needs him to do, and finding his spots.
Gilbeck could not finish, but Jeff Wu flies in there to Kalaman, and they did get the foul, but no basket.
Man, just so far, Kalaman having a rough night tonight. Last game, really able to just penetrate, get to his spot off the dribble, and shoot high percentage today. Just having an extra trouble just getting that ball to fall through the hoop. A lot of that, I think you got to credit the Kings defense. The pressure up top has made it harder for him to handle the ball, and when he gets to the paint, he's had 2 or 3 guys contesting his layups.
This trip to the free throw line, his first of the game. Leading the Dreamers with 29.5 points per game, but it definitely feels like he's trying to initiate a lot of his personal attack off the dribble, which is not exactly his strong suit, as little butterfingered rebound by Mullins. So after a few missed opportunities by the Dreamers, the Kings need to play defense again. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Kenny, Chen, and Doug come in together. Kenny leaves it for Gilbeck. He can't hit. It's gonna be a tough way to go for the Dreamers if their imports can't get their share of scoring going. Manigault jump pass as Mullins had an advantageous position. We said this about the Kings, and now we kind of have to mention it to the Dreamers. Need to play clean defense and do your work early, as Coach Metcalf would say. That time spun around and only a foul to save from 2 points.
Yeah, Kalaman was sort of relaxed in that help side position. Byron Mullins was heading downhill, and Kalaman just took too long to get back low, get his knees bent, and turn to keep that inside position. So good heads-up play by the Kings.
First free throw is in. As Joseph Lin checked into the game, guarding Jeff Wu. 40-26. Jeff Wu, quick shot. We've been saying this for 2 whole seasons now, looking for Jeff Wu to bring up his average. He's had decent scoring games in the past, but he's had trouble stringing it together as Quincy Davis called for the travel on the baseline.
Yeah, he has the quickness and the ability to create the space on that jump shot, but creating the space is just a part of the job. You got to be able to knock it down, and his last one just going in and out, and Dreamers choose to get him subbed out, bring in Ryan.
Kenny not settling, leaves it down for Gilbeck, and eventually a whistle comes as Quincy Davis and Byron Mullins were in there in the paint. Now, more free throws coming up for the Dreamers, but one of the notes about the last game is we see Kenny kind of look like intentionally spinning it backwards to Gilbeck. One of the notes, besides Jay's 4 for 6, the rest of the Dreamers were only 3 of 17 shooting the 3-ball in the last game. That's only 18%. So an area improvement, or maybe a sign that the Dreamers still have their scoring woes from the outside. Of course, that's why we explained they took it to the paint so much. And on the King side, Beast and Amigo, no, excuse me, those guys are not on the same team. Amigo and Mullen 6 for 12 shooting the 3. The rest of the team 4 for 27, but obviously a much better start in this one. An 0 for trip as Joseph Lin probing the Dreamers defense. Odd handoff to Manigal. He throws it up to Q, who gets the finish. Just like that, you could say a 4-point swing. Wu Guanliang trying to settle down with a dribble out to Karaman. Over to Kenny. Back to Karaman from the outside. He hits.
Sigh of relief for the Dreamers. Karaman just struggling here early. He's one of the guys who really has to get going if they want to have any type of the same offensive output as last game.
And Manigal on the run with this as Davis spins around after the offensive board.
The power of the shot fake. Great job by Davis, knowing Gilbeck, leading shot blocker in the league, right in front of him. But you show that ball and you get Gilbeck to leave his feet, and then you can spin around and get an easy look on the other side.
Byron Mullins was going the other way, but they say Dreamers basketball side out of bounds as Brandon Gilbeck, hands on his knees, ready for a sub, and the Dreamers do so. So Davis trying to argue for an offensive foul. Looked like he might have got away with a hook as Doug nailing the 3. And just like that, the Dreamers, a little bit of life now. Over to Joseph Lin from the corner. Yes. Sneakily had 10 points in the first quarter.
Yeah, he's one of the most efficient players in the league. He can do it quiet. I mean, his floaters in the lane, his outside shooting. Doesn't always have to be too fancy, but Joseph Lin knows how to get it done and protective out there when he's out there.
The dribble airmails it, and here come the Kings on the run. A little 3-on-2. Amigo to Joseph Lin with the right hand. And the Dreamers forced to call timeout with 5 minutes left in the game. Mr. Lin taken in from one of the seats on the floor level. The pace of the game picking up as the Kings, correction, now have a 49 to the Dreamers 32. Back after this.
选一个，拿到小球的，待会可以来玩中场游戏，有没有人要的？好，来这边的选一个，选一个。等一下拿到小球的，记得来在第2节剩下5分钟，差不多这个时间要来找工作人员，待会邀请你玩中场游戏喽，加油！
So in the last game, we've had 4 players from another league here in Taiwan, and now Lin Wei Han, the champion and a leader of that's the DEA squad. The corresponding baseball team playing next door, but choosing to stick with his profession and watching the Kings play the Dreamers. As we see previously, the Joseph Lin 3, then the layup in transition, leading to the timeout. And as we mentioned, the pace and the fast break, big for both teams. As we said that the Dreamers had trouble scoring in Xingzhuang, but then came in with the effort defensively and got to running, and of course had their scoring from their imports and Chen from the outside. But on the King side, they too want to get to running. As Thomas finally hits from inside.
Yeah, that's what worked for him so well last game, getting into the paint and using his size and his ability to finish around the rim.
Amigo, Davis, and Joseph Lin in the Spain pick and roll. The three is up, and Davis, after a couple bounces, with the board, still fighting hard with Jerry in for the first time. Doug guarding Joseph, who pulls up and in. As somehow 200-centimeter Doug Creighton had the too small celebration done on him. Kenny right away going to the hoop and scoring softly.
Now Kenny could really be more aggressive here. That's what the Dreamers are going to need him to sort of take over, continue to create his own shots and for his teammates to just sort of give their offense a lift.
Now from the same spot. And this large Kings lead persists as Jerry can't finish through the contact. But again, another trip to the line.
And the Dreamers were able to get a lot of their quick offensive looks last game, as we see the replay of Joe Lin's shot here from the Kings missing those outside shots and the Dreamers grabbing those rebounds and off to the races. But so far tonight, the Kings shooting a much higher percentage. There's just less opportunities for them to get off to their running and get some of those easy baskets in transition.
Gary Zhoubo came in game 3, 12 minutes played. First free throw in is Mullins in for Davis. Go short with the free throw.
Starting to add up the amount of points left on the table from the free throw line for the Dreamers.
Again, Spain pick and roll as Joe lobs it up the floor, who hits a reverse slam. They're going to keep running it until the Dreamers stop it. There you see the lob really into space, more so than at a teammate. Kenny working left, picking up the dribble though, and off the feet. Lucky to hang on to possession as the Dreamers' half-court offense has really been slowed up. And it is awfully quiet in here. Now, three on the left side, no. Long rebound right to him. Dreamers really need to take advantage of the second chance as Manigault jumped out on Kahneman. Eventually a whistle as Kahneman was making his move, but with Manigault at the power forward position comes some disadvantages if one of the Dreamers' bigs want to back him down, but he also presents a huge defensive safety threat on the weak side. There'll be a timeout on the floor. And the score, 55 for the Kings, 37 for the Dreamers. There's the stats of Big Sushi, who was interviewed pregame, almost 21 minutes played, and 1 for 4 shooting the three, but that went down to just 16 minutes in game 2 and less than 9 minutes in game 3. And there at the bottom row is the team rebounding going lower and lower. So the joke of the meme is Sushi could be shall we say, plain sushi, or you could be the fancy deluxe version of sushi. Now, to be fair, he's only 27 years old with only about 100 pro games under his belt. 2 years spent with Taiwan Trust in his first year in the Plus League. Did have that hand injury that kept him out from the off-season work and early season action with the Kings. So trying to play a little bit of catch-up, but the coaches trust him to start. 25 games in the regular season and all 3 games here in the playoffs.
Yeah, he knocked down a couple solid shots tonight, but that rebounding stat is one that he needs to be a part of. And so far, his team, with his help and sort of the team just working harder together, you know, they're in the lead in that category with 26 rebounds compared to 20 for the Dreamers. So that's been one big note on the offensive glass as well, them just getting second chance opportunities from those extra rebounds.
Kahneman leaning and scoring the free throw. Now the Dreamers 9 for 15. And that one bounces down. This time it's Manigault starting on the offense. Joe and Mullins nearby. The Kyle from the corner, but short. Bounce right to Mullins, who brings it out. Amigo will try with the 3, and he stays hot.
He stays hot, and that's just another 3 points that the Kings get after first getting a stop, but not corralling that rebound.
And now counter 3 is in and out. The lead is 19 as that ball deflected. Kenny Chen pulling it way out, now handing off to Doug. They're looking for their imports. Right now, high-low. Gilbert's jumper misses. So close. Minute and a half left to go. Amigo stopped by Gilbeck there, but absolutely getting a feel that the Kings are feeling confident on both ends. Amigo with a deep 3, and they feel like they can stop any Dreamers attack that they presented in this game.
I mean, it's sort of just Gilbeck's last jumper sort of just summarizes their night so far. They've gotten some good looks, just things are not falling for him.
Feeling it himself will miss from deep. Drag screen by Mullins as Kyle tries from a center court. No look pass as Lee Kai-yin. There's a foul though. Another member of former Yulong Dinos, Doug, fouling Lee Kai-yin. And Kenny Manigault will finally get a rest with Ling Jingbang coming in for him. So, even though he's at the bench, trying to make an argument to stay in. No, now he will stay in as Ling Jingbang will sub out Amigo instead. And Achi will come in for the Dreamers, needing a good point of attack out there.
I'm a little surprised, Ryan, we haven't seen a little bit more of Jay Chen. I mean, he hit 1 3-point shot in the first quarter. Sort of the man of the day in game 3. And just limited time out here on the court for him to make an impact.
Lee Kai-yin, first free throw made. And then a second, so 4 points. Still looking for his first made 3 on the game. The Kings, though, 10 for 19. As mentioned, thanks to Amigo and Joseph Lin as Aji tries to turn around, and the lucky bounce. Trying to avoid a 20-point deficit at half as Mullins tries early. The 2-for-1 math, and the Dreamers going to settle in for a half-court attack. Doug and Ling Jingbang screening. Kahneman gets to the corner on Manigault. Will stop and pop, and another miss. Achi with the board, leaving it for Gilbeck, who's fouled. So they got the initial stop, but the Dreamers at least coming away with a trip to the free throw line.
Yeah, great hustle by Achi, smallest guy on the court, to grab that offensive rebound and quickly get it to Gilbeck.
So I guess mission accomplished for Ling Jingbang as Amigo in for offense. A big brick by Gilbeck on the free throw. And you might have heard of Senshin Dajia when Amigo and Beast go head-to-head. Well, Beast, his scoring performance yesterday, wonder if he's inspired Amigo as Kahneman gets the follow-up off of a couple missed free throws. Manigault on the run. Will get it on the rim, but this shot still doesn't downplay the Kings coming in here strong in game 4. They're up by 17. We'll go to our halftime break before breaking things down here in Taichung.
Chen。好了，中场的时间交给丹宁。
好，欢迎大家又来到我们台新梦想家的中场游戏时间啦。今天的游戏呢，给各位一个小提示，可能会需要借助到我们1楼球迷朋友的帮助，好不好？好，我们刚刚2位拿到小球的球迷，请到我们场中间来。今天的游戏呢，等一下2人1人1边。这个游戏叫做上篮接龙游戏，所以等一下1人1颗球，上完篮之后，你们要去寻找1楼的球迷朋友，然后请他们一起上来，然后重点来了，重点，你们要搭肩 ，OK 吗？搭肩把他带回来，球会在弧顶，然后再带他上篮，结束之后再去找第3位球迷朋友，总共我们等一下会计时。计时1分钟，1分钟内谁搭到的人最多，等于说上篮球进的最多就获胜，好不好？好，我们这边右边有示范组，我们先看一次示范组。好，老师给我们示范组一个音乐。1, 2, ready, go。好 ，Go。好，来，你们会先上篮，哦 ，OK。上完篮之后，球帮我放在弧顶。来，接下来开始找现场的球迷朋友，有没有搭肩？友谊的桥梁，然后第2位球迷朋友上篮，好上篮，哎，放枪，怎么放枪呢？好，放进之后球放回弧顶，来搭肩寻找第3位球迷朋友，好，第3位球迷朋友搭起友谊的桥梁，然后第3位球迷朋友上篮 ，OK， 好，了解这个大概了吗？等一下。不要犹豫，不要考虑，去寻找你们想要寻找的球迷朋友吧。让我们主场搭起友谊的桥梁 ，OK 吗？好，那我们就1人1边，请选边，都可以，都可以。搭到的人越多越好，但是要上篮成功才可以找下一个人哦。准备好了吗？准备好了吗？让我们老师音乐。1, 2, ready, go! Go! 上篮，上完篮之后，球放到弧顶，球放到弧顶，开始寻找1楼的球迷朋友，寻找起来。好，搭肩，搭肩是重点，搭肩，搭肩，搭肩，我要看到搭肩。好，这位球迷上篮。
Welcome back to the broadcast. The Plus League Finals set for Saturday, June 3rd at 5 p.m., but the venue to be determined. As mentioned, Ling Wei-Han taking on this Plus League game. He is on the Chinese Taipei candidate list for some off-season, quote-unquote, national team activities, but definitely know from the news that he's had to play with a lot of injuries, so his status certainly up in the air, to say the least. But here, with the contest at hand, the Dreamers came out and blitzed the Kings in Game 3, but so far in this game, it's been the Amigo and the Joseph Lin show, as there we shared the team statistics of the Kings shooting for a better percentage, getting more rebounds, have more assists. That the only blemish Marchand can harp on them in the locker room is 2 more turnovers than the Dreamers through the first half. But lots of Spain in pick and roll in the second quarter, and the Dreamers don't seem to have an answer for the attack of Amigo and Joseph Lin from the outside or in transition.
Yeah, some of that's just been their ability to knock down those shots, but as you look back on some of them, a lot of those shots have not been contested by the Dreamers, as we see several of these replays are just kicking out to shooters who are comfortable in rhythm and got a clear sight and path to the basket as they get their shots up.
Kings in the regular season got 37.6% of their points from their imports, and in this game, only 13% of their points so far. That's not to devalue their efforts. They've been really doing it on the defensive end, where, as we talked about it before this segment, just getting back on defense makes a huge difference, and then they've been sticking with their defensive principles in the half court, which has caused all kinds of problems for the Dreamers, who don't have the ball movement like they did in the last game.
Yeah, it's been a little bit too much, maybe Carmen trying to attack from the top instead of from closer to the basket, and Chen not quite as active off those pick and rolls like we saw in Game 3, so Dreamers have a lot to figure out here in the second half.
Now, 11 Dreamers have made it on the floor, but Carmen with almost 20 minutes, Gilbeck with 19 minutes. They've actually not rotated the back end of their roster very much. Chen with only 8 minutes played, as you mentioned, kind of absent when you would think the Dreamers could use him for a little bit of offense. Dilway's just come in and scored 6 on his only 7 minutes of play, which is solid, but kind of wonder how deep that Coach Eric will go with his bench. Coming up, we'll have the leading scorers from the first half, as the Kings 1 win away from advancing to the finals. The Dreamers hoping to push the series back to Xinzhuang, but more on that after this.
那些没用的 hater 怎么口口是垃圾碎？当我实现从小的梦，流过多少眼泪 ，Man you never know。在什么心，梦谁都能成为传奇，为自己写下独一无二的传奇。With my gang 改变世界口水扳机。I feel good 'cause I'm been in hell. I fight with the demon all night long. I fight with the demon all night long. Fight with the demon all night long. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. 我在顶峰看着最美的风景，颠簸的路走得不太算容易，到过地狱才能见到光明。I'm in my dream, yeah， 最美的风景。我在顶峰看着最美的风景，没空接电话，是帮我破的生病。Fuck 那些啥不是我的东西。I'm in my dream, yeah， 最美的风景。不知道粗暴多少次才能晒，恭喜高空能飞得不赖，别一口气接力实力，管他逆风还是迎风，下巴快要对付海啸，从来不敢平庸。什么让我强壮？不是鳄鱼的朋友，愚昧无知的眼光，估计要承受很久。一生能看着远方，团结的跟我点亮，专心刺骨一点强，一点强。不知道黎明要破晓以前，举办围墙路在地球里面，聚光灯亮，开讲，伴随着悲欢喜怨，外界喧嚣锣鼓炊烟歌舞，看不破华丽的舞，制高点你看得清楚，他们能想象。飞更高更远。看着最美的风景，颠簸的路走得不太算容易，到过地狱才能见到光明。I'm in my dream, yeah， 最美的风景，我在顶峰看着最美的风 So sad，一切的空面就成了 hash。加速的世界也就像百老汇，每个主角对着睡，空气它吸不像盐水，氧气刺激每一条神经。Body Mary， 吸引力法则的效应让我觉得很犀利，承受每个银河系就像电影星际效应。I don't wanna talk shit， you think it's funny，your time is money。也不笼罩着我的视野，去可以细微窥探世界容貌，在空我当时一回剧情，傲视过故的细节，所以太快，可是比你快，看似比你爱，怪怎么不奇怪，说了一直拜。
Taking a look at some of the faces in crowd, the new Taipei Queens and a number of other basketball dignitaries in attendance. As it could be our very last time here in Taichung with one half of basketball if the home team could really dig down and find a big comeback effort, as they already find themselves down by 17 and really struggling from the early get-go to really make a dent in the Kings' lead. As Amigo with 18 points, Joseph Lin with 17, Quincy Davis once again coming off the bench but 6 points, Kyle Lee Cayenne 5, Byron Mullins with 5. And Amigo actually had a individual high of 24 points so far in the series, but looking to lead by example, have a real strong performance on the road. As we mentioned before, the Kings don't have any road victories in their very brief history as a franchise, but one here would be a huge boost for them heading into the finals if they could finish this game off.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ryan, and this will be a huge momentum boost for them entering the finals if they can really close out here, you know, playing top basketball and carry that momentum into game 1 of the finals next weekend.
On the other side, Ilkan Kahneman, the only dreamer, scoring in double digits, and a lot of the times it looks a lot easier when he's not the one initiating the offense, though he has one of the few three-pointers on the Dreamer squad. Nobody's hit multiple so far on the game.
Going to be have to be a collective effort from the Dreamers here. 17 points down. They're going to have several guys step up.
The second half will get started in about 4 minutes.
I'm a hustler, baby. Why you think they pay me? Let me know when you're ready to roll. Do 180 in the gray Mercedes, South Beach, where they love me the most. And you know they gon' watch me ballin' like a Michael Jordan and always win like he did in the fourth. When the shots is falling and the phone's recording, yeah, you know that we doing the most. We gon' make it rain, 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 like we won a championship game. We gon' need some more champagne to take it all away. It's about to go down in a minute. Let me touch down. I'ma get it. 'Cause I been waiting all night to make it go from the friend zone to the end zone. Tryna take it to the house, baby, let's go. 'Cause I been waiting all night. It's game time. I'ma let you shop until your fingers sore. I'ma bought a credit card made from NBA floor. Hey, it's game time and I'm in the boss. Nah, me and your ex can't have the same score. Tryna hit the end zone from the friend zone. And maybe bring friends to the end zone. Hey, it's up to you when we in Syracuse. Get you hot and cool you down, I got that damn flow. We gon' make it rain, 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 like we won a championship game. We gon' need some more champagne to take it all away. It's about to go down in a minute. Let me touch down. I'ma get it. 'Cause I been waiting all night to make it go from the friend zone to the end zone. Tryna take it to the house, baby, let's go. 'Cause I been waiting all night. It's game time. Step back, hit on with the shake. Crossover, going hard in the bank. Hit that, money in the bank. All-star, watch me do it all day. Step back, hit on with the shake. Crossover. 'Cause I been waiting all night to make it go from the friend zone to the end zone. Tryna take it to the house, baby, let's go. 'Cause I been waiting all night. It's game time.
Welcome back to Taizong Intercontinental Basketball Stadium, Game 4 between the Kings and Dreamers. And one person we didn't mention at the halftime as we see the Dreamers seeing their field goal percentage rise and rise in the early parts of the series. The key number down on the bottom, 68 points in the paint. But one reason why they have looked so discombobulated on offense, Brandon Gilbeck on the series averaging 19 points per game on 58 percentage points shooting from 2, but so far in this game, only 1 point coming at the free throw line. And of course, we talk about Kahneman and him getting seals down low, which forces the defense to collapse, and then obviously you'll have the openings on the outside.
Yeah, Gilbeck definitely hasn't delivered during some moments where he had chances to. His teammates really just got to try to give an extra effort to find him with the ball in the right spot.
A save ball going out of bounds right to Amigo as Joseph Flynn will miss the three-point attempt. Same starters for both teams as we get underway here in the second half. Loose ball, and it will be a turnover by the Dreamers.
Yeah, not the time for miscues, especially your first possession after halftime. They talked about what they wanted to set up, and just a missed opportunity there for the Dreamers.
Manigal, the double comes, he passes out of it. With James to Amigo as they only had 14 to go on an attack, and the Kings will commit a turnover. So Big Sushi had an opportunity then, but was looking to pass.
Yeah, he might not have been so aware of the shot clock. Always a little bit more challenging when you're playing on the road. At home, maybe your crowd or your team is able to help shout that out. But he missed up. He passed up an open opportunity.
Dug on the down screen, down low to Gilbeck, who is stopped by Mullins. Another opportunity is Creighton will try from 3. Joseph Flynn will come away with it. Leaning in there, but overshooting the runner. So it's Kenny rejecting the screen, but Gilbeck getting a foul out of the trip. So Farrah Mullins took a little bit of a shot to the face. Another look at the follow through. Well, something we asked from the very beginning of the last game is how would the Dreamers run their offense without a point guard? Well, very successful in the last game. And on that time, it was just Kenny going to work with Gilbeck as he just missed his 6th free throw of the game.
Yeah, complete opposite of how he started last game, and he came out here during halftime, tried to get some extra reps at the free throw line, but at this point, it's just a mental battle for him.
And now an air ball. It seems like it's getting worse and worse now that they've switched sides.
Well, a smart foul by Mullins to make Gilbeck try to earn those 2 points from the lane instead of getting an easy layup in the point.
Kahneman jumped out on the pass as Byron Mullins takes it in. But after the stop, Kahneman kind of dribbled himself out of an opportunity. Still looking for Gilbeck, who got away with a little push and dunks for his first basket of the game.
That's what they have to do. I'd almost like to see some more of that from Carmen and Gilbeck, because if Gilbeck has anybody else on him besides Mullins, it's a huge advantage for him under the basket. So that pick and roll, and if the Kings are going to continue to switch that, then that could be something the Dreamers could have going in their advantage.
Now it's Joseph going one-on-one, down low to Mullins, and there's a whistle. Initially, looked like a pretty good defensive possession, but again, Joseph Lin just finds those pockets of passes. You see previously Gilbeck getting the slam even on Mullins, and then Joe Lin flipping it under, and Dreamers can only foul.
Looks like a lot of ball up top, but the swing through might have gotten some arm there from Mullins, who gets to the line and takes advantage with the first one.
Again, before the free throw, Gilbeck trying to mend to his fingers as Mullins now ready to take these free throws. Amigo off of Creighton, and another Dreamers turnover.
That's where the Dreamers almost have to look. If the Kings are going to try to deny them that far away from the basket, you got to try to go back door and hit your cutter going towards the rim.
Joseph out to James on the left side. His three is up and in. There you go.
Yeah, just another wide open look from the Kings. I know the Dreamers trying to stop any attack inside the paint, but when any professional player is that wide open, they're going to feel comfortable and be able to knock down a high percentage.
Down low to Gilbeck. Finally getting started. A big step and a forced shot. Quickly down court. Byron Mullins from the center. He airballs it. He dropped the fingers a little bit. Telling the ref that you might need to take a look at that basketball as Achi will check into the game. It didn't affect Big Sushi over there. He now has 6 points on the game on 2 made threes. Achi in relatively early. They swing it to him. Going a baseline, hooking the pass all the way to Luke right now up top, and he finishes it off.
Yeah, good smart shot by Ryan. That's what was available. He almost had a moment earlier in the shot clock where he could have taken the jump shot off the pick and roll, but he was patient. And Achi doing a good job driving to the basket and kicking it back out.
He did have 10 assists in game 2 as Mullins a little bit closer to the mark. Quickly entry pass to Kahneman, throwing right at James and floats it in with a hook. Little 5-0 run for the Dreamers. Joseph Lin hesitating, then going at Achi. As the Kings swinging around, Amigo will try for 3, no. And Doug, nice hands with a tip. Going down court, it's Ilkan. Timeout for the Kings. So after the Dreamers stumbled out of the gate in the half, have found their footing thanks to number 11. We'll be going to our first commercial break of the second half, where the Dreamers are trying to make a run out of it.
们台新梦想家人在哪里？好，左边的球迷朋友，左边的球迷朋友注意了，3、2、1。好，这边的梦想家球迷们，我想要听到一下你们的噪音，好不好？让我们客队球迷听一下，好不好？来喽，3、2、1。
A little 9-5 run in the third quarter, but right before the break, it's 7-0 for the Dreamers as AG found Karaman, who went to the reverse dunk, excuse me.
Yeah, I just feel like also the Dreamers picked up defensive intensity a little bit more, forcing the Kings into some contested shots, and when they get those rebounds, they're able to sort of push their offense and feel a little bit more comfortable getting some mismatches they like in transition.
Kings respond with Quincy Davison. He's got the mismatch, but the rebound doesn't go his way. Ryan taking on Joe, throwing it on target as Gilbeck might have touched it one too many times.
And that would have really brought the crowd to their feet again, just a ball barely rolling off the rim.
And Amigo, though, jumping out of bounds on the catch. So the Dreamers staying alive. Doug Crane and Amigo there on the wing, and good catch. Achi with a left-handed finger roll, and they keep rolling. The Dreamers do to now a 11-point deficit. Karma with 21 points there on the bottom score bug.
Yeah, you got to give a lot of props to Achi, just running the point guard position for the Dreamers, finding his teammates time and again throughout the last few minutes for a lot of these shots.
And Amigo making up for that last miss with a lay-in of his own. Feeling it, number 35 from the outside, and a swish. Keep counting, the deficit is at 10. Manigal with the screen down to Mullins, and he fumbles it out of bounds. But taking a little bit of a hit there, a Charlie horse perhaps. No movement on the Kings bench though. Mullins finally helped up. Get another look. There you see him kind of take a Charlie horse to his left leg there. He's trying to gesture toward the bench, but no movement yet as Aji and Lu Guanliang trade baseline drive to Gilbeck. He can't finish through contact, but they say a foul from behind. There's Quincy Davis on the back. And now Mullins got the Kings' attention, and James will be checking back in. You see the kind of unorthodox baseline to baseline drive, and Gilbeck slipping in there. But the big test is coming up, him at the free throw line. As looks like we have a technical foul, and it could be again one of those on the bench varieties.
Mullins continues to stay heated from the sideline. He's trying to be calmed down by coaching staff and teammates, but he's clearly not happy.
A lot of other separate conversations. Crew chief to James Mao, crew chief with Ryan Marchand. Now, as we've seen in the previous game, it is probably going to be a technical against the bench and not Mullins himself, but kicking the LED boards or damaging the hardware in the arena is listed in the Plus League bylaws as something that's finable, and of course something that the referees have jurisdiction to punish the team or the players for. So kind of under the radar. Gilbeck for the first free throw. will be off. AG made the technical before him.
This is where Gilbeck just has to dig deep, have some mental fortitude right here. You know, it doesn't matter how many free throws you've missed in the past, you gotta keep playing hard. Team's still counting on you to finish this game out strong.
This time he does. Looked pretty good on that attempt. As Davis inbounds to Joseph, you see Ryan Marchand talking to Byron Mullins. Conlon switched on to Joseph, now applying pressure, forcing a loose dribble. There's 8 seconds on the clock. Manigault rises above but misses, and it's Doug with the rebound and the hook pass. Here come the Dreamers. AG lining one up. Yes!
Been all Dreamers, defense to offense. The outlet passes from Doug Creighton to Carmen, who swings it cross court to an open AG. And man, when the Dreamers really get going like this, Ryan, they're a lot of fun to watch, and the fans are certainly enjoying it.
Another timeout called by the Kings as they see their lead shrink down to 5, and this time AG the recipient. And as we mentioned, pretty much after every single game of this series, you kind of wonder when number 11 will rise to his ability shooting the ball from the outside. Obviously has found his way to the cup a few times, and certainly a strong free throw shooter, and he gets credit for cueing this Dreamers comeback, but when he starts hitting from the outside, the Dreamers are very dangerous.
Yeah, he's been instrumental because, sure, he hits that last shot, but you look at all the 5 last field goals they've taken, and he's been a big part of just breaking down his man one-on-one and creating opportunities for his teammates, or just hitting them in places where they can be successful with the ball. So he's really come in and just given this whole offense a boost.
Now, this is also still a test for the Dreamers, as when they had a 5-point lead in game 2, Coach Marchand called the timeout, and the Kings really held down the fort to eventually come away with another 19-point victory against the Dreamers, though it was at home in Xinzhuang. They do have a 5-point lead here, but the crowd really getting into it now. See Carmen and AG highlights from the quarter.
Yeah, some big plays, and this crowd that was silent for most of the first half has definitely taken notice here, and you know, they're going to try to ride this momentum as much as they can. Still just barely past halfway through the third quarter, so there's still going to be times for both teams to make several runs, and we'll see who has the last punch here today in game 4.
Now, the Dreamers, as we mentioned, committed their share of turnovers to start the quarter, but defensively, the Kings are 2 for 10 with only 2 free throw made. 3 turnovers of their own. Amigo started things off from the top. Pulls up for 2. No. A chance for the Dreamers to run. A little bit of a stumble as the Kings come away with it. Manigault trying to see Kirk in a missed dunk. Ball eventually out of bounds. We've seen it previously in the regular season. Imports missing dunks, but of course, the difficulty is way up there with Brandon Gilbeck chasing you down.
Yeah, all Manigault could do was smile. He knew it was going to be, he was going to be met at the rim. He gave it everything he had, just a little bit short on getting that ball to fall through the hoop.
Down a Coleman with James guarding, but a quick skip pass as they try it on the other side. Gilbeck at the high post. Coleman going baseline first. A 2-handed shove. Oh, Big Sushi now with his 3rd personal. The Kings with 3 on the quarter. Was clean there, and then, especially on the spin, is not.
Kings playing a little zone defense here now against the Dreamers.
Counting down Coleman's fadeaway is in.
Not Not an easy shot, but you can tell that's one that he's developed. Nice spin to the baseline, almost unblockable for any defender, especially a smaller defender that he had on him.
The defense scrambling and recovering as Joseph moving left, taking a jumper himself, but it's out. Snack right back to Joseph's possession as James took a hit on the rebounding effort. Nico's push shot is no good, and a chance with him on the run. Doug to Gilbeck, who throws it on Joseph Lynn, another score, and the Kings will finally get a substitution for James, who immediately retreats to the bench. Definitely a mix-up in the confusion, but previously on the rebounding effort, there you see Gilbeck flying around Joseph Lynn, and the Kings look like they're content with going small now with Kyle coming into the game. So far in the third quarter, 23 Dreamers points.
Yeah, Ryan, we saw him score 39 in the first quarter, and they're maybe not quite on pace to get there, but it's definitely explosive offensive quarter, and their defense has definitely helped them sort of just kickstart this offense, as a lot of these points have been in transition.
There was a foul first. O'Connell having to contend with Davis. Only his second personal. Joseph up top. Davis comes with a screen. The dribble is errant though, right to the hands of Kahneman. Pushing to effort to get and blocked out of bounds. No, they say there was a foul as our cameraman got a really intimate look. I don't know why he got helped up, but free throws coming up for the Turkish import.
Yeah, good job in transition. Kahneman had the loose ball. No one ever fully got their body in front of him, and so he kept that dribble going all the way to the paint, where the Kings were forced to foul him, and now at the line, chance to tie or take the lead for the Dreamers.
First free throws in, and there it is. Tied up at 67. First time since it was 0-0. The second free throw is in and out. They've been playing good defense for the most part all quarter long. Manigault on the run. The ball poked away. They say it'll stay with the Kings. But again, every single touch, every single deflection seems to be looming danger.
Yeah, the intensity of the Dreamers' defense right now has just been what we saw to start the game in Game 3.
Manigault, though, with a good answer. A nice three from the top as the ball gets away. If you look up in the crowd, there's plenty of spots of yellow out there. Achi, where the Kahneman on the screen. Up to Gilbeck as that one goes out of bounds. A lot of contact on a number of plays there.
Yeah, sort of Gilbeck didn't have anyone matching it up top by the rim, but definitely seemed like there was some contact underneath. But if Quincy Davis has already got his feet set in there, then hard to call a foul when the defense is already set up.
2.5 to go in the quarter. Manigault hit one earlier. That one's short. Dreamers down by 3 as Doug tries deep. That one's halfway down and out. Over to the right side. Lee Cayenne will heave a pass out of bounds. Trying to find his good friend JJ, but a little too excited. Looking over on the right side, Byron Mullins. up and walking around trying to work off that Charlie horse as AG to Gilbeck. Trying to power it over Q, but a block. Now with a mismatch, Amigo shaking, baking, swinging up a missed layup. That one will stay with the Kings. As trying to check in the game is Chen. As the Dreamers will counter by going small. That's kind of unexpected. Looks like we will have a challenge issued by the Dreamers on the out of bounds call.
Well, it's become a game. After 3 games of almost 20-point wins for the home teams, it looks like this one could be going down to the wire.
Getting in the look. Ball down low, a lot of hands on top of it, and it's a little bit more optimistic for the Dreamers on that look with JJ in there. He had 2 hands in as Coleman only had the left arm reaching in there.
Yeah, it's got to try to look at the direction of which hand's going where and what path does the ball follow. So from that angle, it looks like it could be off of JJ. But I'm glad they can really slow it down and get a good look, because in live action, that would almost be impossible to get a clear picture of who is it off on.
And the challenge is successful, so another stop for the Dreamers. The biggest turnaround in any game of this series is only the Kings down by 5. They led the entire way game 1. The Dreamers led the entire way in game 3. Minute and a half left in the 3rd quarter. Looking for JJ on the down screen. He's going to the hoop.
Oh my.
He stopped, but Aji gets the strip. Little 3-on-3 going, finding Doug again on the right side. Can't make the adjustment as Chen flying in there. And an odd kickball call, but it will be the Dreamers who will have possession. As you called it out, definitely looked like Kings got away with something there.
Yeah,
there you see Quincy Davis with the little tap. That's what the referee saw. Good catch. So sideline out of bounds. Chen guarded by Kenny Manigal as Davis pushes it out. Kind of curious, but definitely thinking that the Dreamers are saving Gilbeck perhaps for the start of the 4th quarter. They don't have any other bigs in there.
Yeah, we see Mullins has gotten some extended rest and probably calmed down a little bit from when he was in the game.
Chen beating the buzzer, but that one's out as a rebounding foul against Davis. Trying to plead his case, but as Kahneman will be sent to the line. Getting another look as Davis trying to contend that he only had his arm down, but he wasn't the one in the advantageous rebounding position. Now 4 personal on his evening.
That could be big down the stretch, because we know Quincy Davis normally gets to play a lot of minutes in the 4th quarter.
And it looks like this time Kahneman will be called for the pump fake at the line. He was given a second chance in a previous game.
Yeah, but even last game he had a free throw taken away from him on this, and you do see that there are shirts in the paint before the shot's released, but still got to continue with your motion.
Back to Manigal with a high pick from Davis. Slicing his way through and getting the bucket. Kenny Manigault's presented the only scoring threat for the Kings in the third quarter. There's a whistle though and a turnover on the wraparound.
Yeah, Carmen had some good spacing there with the one-on-one. He didn't really need to use the hook, and it wasn't used too much, but right there in front of the officials, and that definitely is an advantage for him. And so, good call.
The lead for the Kings is 4 with about a 9-second difference. Shot clock to third quarter clock. Again, Davis coming up the screen. Coleman blitzes, but Manigault avoids one and overshoots the layup. Numbers for the Dreamers. That's Aji to Doug, back to Aji. 5 seconds left. It's Coleman who will finish it up. Another three as the deficit now sits as 1, heading into the fourth and final frame of the Dreamers trying to survive.
Dreamers playing downhill. They're turning that defense. Great job rebounding, and their outlet passes, taking care of the ball in transition, being unselfish, sharing the ball, getting good looks.
也谢谢女孩们 Formosa Sexy。
Plus 球迷 Oh My Basketball 是我本人在 AG4 学英文吧，教你的篮球英文术语，搭配 Plus 的影片，打造全新的线上课程。欢迎大家在资讯栏点击一起学习。Ilkan Karaman stepping up for the Dreamers, 16 points on the quarter, playing the entire frame, and a huge part. Both, of course, as we mentioned, offensively, but also defensively. The Dreamers choosing to go small to counter the Kings. And we were saying, oh, they have advantage with 2 bigs in there, but they find the spacing and they find the intensity on defense, and now find themselves another good quarter away from forcing this to a winner-take-all Game 5.
Yeah, this home crowd really got to help these Dreamers out. A lot of Kings players have been fresh and been able to sit a lot more, so we'll see as we get later in this game if the Dreamers just can continue this run.
Kenny Chen fresh in the game. Too strong with his first 3 as Doug getting around Davis for a miss. And quickly up ahead. Venti in at point, calling for a horn set with Manigault and Davis. Doug gambles and leaves Lee Kai-in open from the left corner. Good start for the Kings.
Yeah, big for Kyle. We've seen him be aggressive to the basket, not so much feeling comfortable shooting the outside shot, but that's what the defense gave him that time, and the Kings, again, get another good look.
Illegal screen, they say. Aji was about to make his move. Look like it's going to be on Coleman, but you see Davis. No, didn't do enough to help him there, but it's going to be a turnover. Now that will be 4 personal fouls on Coleman. Manigault will bring it up. Again, guarded by Doug. He's got to step on the screen. They rotate around. Amigo tries for 3, and that's a 2-for-2 start for the Kings.
Yeah, just a tough shot. The defense was there in front, and Ryan trying to do his best to stay in front, make that shot hard for Amigo, but Amigo just showing us what he's capable of.
Aji too strong with a 3. Ricochet to Venti. They're going to have numbers, 5 on 3. Manigault to Lee Kai-in, and he makes it 3 for 3, and a timeout for the Dreamers. Making easy work out of the first minute and a half here in the 4th. And just like that, 81-71, sending the home team to a timeout. One last commercial break in the broadcast, and back with the rest of the action after these messages. What a difference a quarter makes. So far in the 4th quarter, Dreamers 0 for 3 from the field, Kings 3 for 3 from deep. And one note we had in the pregame is how Joseph Lin and Kyle Lee Kai-in saw their shooting percentage drop precipitously, but in the later parts of this game, it's Lee Kai-in to the rescue for the Kings. So Brandon Gilbeck's in there as Aji's got a step and will get the right-handed lay-in. Venti moving right, now looking for Amigo left. Stripped by Ryan, so a score and a stop. Aji taking contact, putting it on target.
Both Doug Creighton and Aji having 2 opportunities there near the rim, taking a bump, but trying to use the glass and just a little bit too strong on their takes.
Manigault will pull up, and that one's off target. Oh, going out of bounds, and they say off of Aji.
Manigault definitely got some ball on that strip, but it looked like Aji got a little bit whacked on the, maybe not. Pretty clean strip from that angle.
So a second turnover on the quarter for the Dreamers. Venti working left. And back to Q. To Amigo. He stopped initially. And 7 seconds left as Manigault putting Gilbeck on the deck and banks it home. Quick whistle on the deflection out of bounds, but another look for us as Manigault in and out dribble. AG down low to Kirk, and there's a foul. Could not elevate above Kenny Manigault, who came in with the help.
Yeah, smart foul by Manigault to make Gilbeck, who struggled tonight from the line, go to the stripe for two instead of getting an open dunk here.
Oh, the all-important question is the free throws on the Dreamer side, the team that's down on the game, only 14 for 27. First bounces in. That makes it 7 points, 8 rebounds for Big B's evening. Too strong on the second. (83-74) is the score. Again, Manigault at the point, looping it in there as AG came in with the help and will get a jump ball out of it. Davis trying to contest that. It was out of bounds. No, excuse me, that was Chen down low. As the rest of the Dreamers were tangled up in a bunch. So after the towel boy going to work on the hardwood over on the opposite side to us. Kenny out of bounds. Will stay with the Kings. I think it went over the head of one of our courtside fans who was running past. Up top. Venti down low to Cute. Still too late as Davis slams it home. Trying to get something extra after the play. Looking the other way. Dreamers look for Gilbeck in the middle. Chen with a kick out and a three for number 0.
I think the Dreamers would do themselves a favor if they continue to try to find the hot hand. And Chen, limited opportunities tonight, but he sure has knocked down a couple of threes when he has been given the chance.
Davis and Manigault trying to challenge Doug Creighton's defense. A jump pass to Venti from the right corner. No answer from the Kings. Now it's Doug looking for a pass, looping it up there, and it caught a piece of the net. And a unsportsmanlike on Doug Creighton, and kind of really earned that one there. Ambushing Amigo. Trying to contend that he did leave space, but he made real solid contact on that play. And the referees will go to the video review. See previously the errant pass. And that right arm is what they're going to be looking at. Not be the opportune time for the Dreamers to be taking an unsportsmanlike on the game.
Yeah, he sticks out his hand in the direction where the ball was going. I would be surprised if this one's changed, though, given the force of just the body that went into it, too.
There will be an unsportsmanlike, sending Amigo to the line. On the series, he's been a solid 14 for 16 at the charity stripe. A little bit better than his 80% on the irregular season. And possession after it. So the Kings can stretch this out to a double-digit lead or more. First one's in. second one. Joseph Lin will come back into the game. In for Amigo. So the Kings going really small now. With, in essence, 3 point guards out there. And Kenny Manigault, second in the league in assists. Venti, Aaron with a dribble, somehow got it back. Rifles it to Kyle, who stops and pops, and the bounce is in. Lee Kai-in continuing a good scoring stretch here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the Dreamers just their defensive effort in the third quarter just has gotten away from them. The Kings now really able to just create some better shot opportunities and getting them to fall down, unlike in the third.
Gilbeck screens for Jay Chen, who picked up the dribble down low, and Kenny Manigault fouls, kind of popping in there underneath. So he has 4 personal on the game. Yeah, and good patience by the Dreamers, though. They get stopped so often on the switches on pick and rolls. But they're patient enough, knowing that the Kings have to leave somebody open. And Gilbeck hitting the first free throw. In the playoffs, the highest number of attempts on any game is 26. Dreamers against the Kings in game 3. They hit on 20 of them. Now Venti trying to screen as Doug blocks Manigault's attempt, and now there's a foul in transition. Of course, the crowd and the Dreamers want unsportsmanlike. I'm just going to say a common foul in transition, as for some reason Davis wants a review, even though he's the one who's really putting himself in peril.
That will
Eventually,
be
the crew
5,
chief,
though, correct, Ryan? 5 fouls on Quincy Davis, I think we're at. So that could be big for him, if I'm not mistaken.
he does have the personal, so even if it's elevated to a U, he's not out of the game yet. But of course, it would be a great chance for the Dreamers to get some life back in this crowd. Of course, he will contend that was incidental, but Dreamers might say a free path, but Joseph and Manigault beyond the line of the basketball itself. Now the leg sticking in there is an interesting case for an unnecessary and unnatural basketball move. And it will be upgraded to an unsportsmanlike. And that'll be huge. Achi, of course, one of the better Dreamers free throw shooters. And possession. And definitely what really adds to this is him getting his leg in there.
I'm a little surprised at that one, though, because Achi can take about 3 quick steps before Quincy Davis takes his big one long stride. So just sort of unfortunate for the big guy that stepped in front of him, although you do want to take care of your players, and anytime you get a leg stuck in front of somebody trying to go full speed, you do have some danger there.
Well, Achi wayward with his first free throw. Makes the correction. Out of bounds, right on the pass. Eventually turned into a high-scoring sprint in the last game between these two teams, but definitely thinking the defense is going to play the biggest role as Jay Chen leaves the layup short, but Gilbeck picks up his teammate right down low.
Good of Gilbeck to be there for the offensive board, but with 5 fouls and Quincy Davis on Gilbeck, I don't understand why the Dreamers aren't trying to post Gilbeck up, because Davis for sure doesn't want to get his 6th foul and be fouled out of the game.
They say a clean block as Joseph Lin went flying. Quincy Davis trailing the play.
Gilbeck with his hands up, but a good part of his jump was towards Joseph Lin, so it definitely could have been called maybe Gilbeck getting away with one.
Kenny trying to stick with Joe, who goes behind the back and tries to go left. And a lucky bounce again, but Joseph Lin has had a great scoring effort tonight.
Yeah, and Kenny Chen, one of the dynamic defenders, you know, he really was sticking on him, has quickness and can jump and challenge that shot, but Joe Lin showing us what he can do.
So Creighton left open, he gets the lay-in. That time they doubled Aji, but Doug Creighton, after gambling earlier in the quarter, is the benefactor of Manigault jumping out. Number 55 going to work, but stopped. Again, the double team comes as eventually there's a whistle on the play. Going to be Doug with the blocking foul. Another look at, he got a hand in there and the shove too. So I would say he got his money's worth. On the pin down, and he floats it up as Quincy Davis brings it down with a dunk.
Right, Quincy Davis is in there, power forward, center, and has been doing it here in Taiwan for so many years.
They don't get the switch as Gilbeck quickly to Kenny. Through two Kings, Aji over to Doug on the left side. Yes! The deficit right now at 6.
It's gonna have to be some stops though here for the Dreamers. Now under 5 minutes left, they got to figure out how to get some runs, just like that.
A stop there as Manigault couldn't get around Gilbeck. There was a mismatch and very dangerous pass, and another one. But it's Chen from 45, big bounce as Gilbeck comes down with it, sticks with it, and one.
And bye-bye to Quincy Davis. Even more important than that, the Kings are going to have to figure out how to deal without number 50 for the last 4.5 minutes.
Looking over at the bench, no movement from Byron Mullins. It's going to be James, number 17, checking in, as Omar has not even taken off his warm-ups. So a big test here for the Kings in the front court. Then a look, really, you could say lucky ricochet for the Dreamers, right into the arms of Gilbeck. And putting it up and in. It could have been the first bump or it could have been that second effort. But in the end, Quincy Davis out of the game.
Yeah, you got to credit just the determination of Gilbeck, who he saw that shot go up. You could see on his face right away he was determined to go after that rebound. And even though he's struggled tonight from the line, just the perseverance for him to stay focused and continue to just give his team everything he has.
Diving down, but committing the foul as tangled up with Joseph Lin there. Just be a common foul, but again, good credit to Chen for contributing on that end of the floor too. Might have been Big Sushi who got away with a little bit of a shove.
And is this going to be no, not yet in penalty for the Dreamers.
But good call. 4:17 left in the game. The next foul for both directions, both ways, will be bonus free throws. Manigault out of step, but over the top, Aji with an interception. Now going the other way. Gilbeck right away on James, the help doesn't come, and he adjusts and scores.
Good patience there by Gilbeck, has the mismatch, no more Quincy Davis. Trying to go deep inside, the double team didn't come, just one-on-one, took his time, got to a spot, went up and finished.
They jump the pass and it gets into the hands of Chen. The Kings still getting back in time, but now have to contend with number 34. Amigo jumps early. Kenny around Kyle, and that one comes out, and a foul on the rebound.
Kenny Chen might be cramping up a little bit here under the basket. It looks like he's going to get stretched out, but man, great cut by Kenny. Kenny's man went to double team Gilbeck in the post. And so a good kickback here, just good help side defense from Kyle, just to force that into a Kenny Chen into a tough lay-in here that just rolls out. How many times have we seen layups roll out today for the Dreamers like this?
Now Kenny Chen was experiencing cramping in game 2, and hopefully he's good enough to go, but definitely out for at least one play until the next whistle.
Yeah, sometimes after a few minutes of stretching, you can sort of calm those cramps down. Looks like a muscle cramp in his calf, and he might be able to get back in there, but he'll definitely go get some fluids and keep stretching it out. And for now, it looks like Ryan will come in and take his place here for a while. Man, we had some good basketball played here in this series already, but those end scores have been, somewhat lopsided. But right now, 92-93, 3.5 minutes left. I mean, this is when playoff basketball is really at its finest.
Free throws coming up for Kenny Manigault. Good with the first. In fact, his first trip. No, not his first trip, excuse me. His first trip of the night after not having any attempts in Thursday's game. But he cashes in on both.
Yeah, if you're the Dreamers here, no need to hit a home run. You just got to come down, work together, get a good shot. Maybe look for Gilbeck in the post again. Oh, my.
But a whistle and Gilbeck with the illegal screen, just as AG found a big hole, and you now know why.
Yeah, no reason to be fouling on the screen like this. He definitely sticks out his leg there, not needed at all. Just let AG rely on his quickness to create, or still lots of time in the shot clock to get a good shot.
Amigo out to James, but he hesitates. The handoff as AG dislodged Manigault center court. Another bounce in. The third time of the quarter for the Kings.
Huge shot from Manigault coming down big down the stretch.
Lob inside, but there was a foul on the catch. And so, sitting out of bounds, Lin Wei-Han had to provide an assist there. Here you see Kenny Manigault, the man left open. And you see again Doug with the adventurous pass, but this time a foul underneath. That connects on the first free throw.
He's been able to turn this around from the free throw line, and we know Karaman has had an explosive game too. We'll see if Gilbeck is able to go the rest of the way, or if they're going to maybe trade out the more defensive-minded Gilbeck for Karaman, who can score in a multiple of ways.
And a 2-for-2 trip. In fact, only missing one in the fourth quarter, but Joe with a step on AG. He's going to be called for the shove. So it won't be free throws, but a big turnover, even though Joseph Lin had a step. Get another look. Slicing right through the Dreamers, though. He's contending that AG touched him up first, but a little bit too obvious from number one there. Kings still lead by 4. And a very wide horn set. Aji swatted out of bounds. Nice catch by Taipei right next to me. And now it's Aji who's taking a little inventory there on the baseline. I'm pretty sure the trainers are staying way back right now. They don't want to take Aji out if they don't have to. He's up and running again, but a big block for James down low.
I'd almost like to see from the Hsinchu Lioneers last year with Sim Bular, you know, when they just put him right there under the basket. I'd almost like to see a lob to Gilbeck here, just with this mismatch in height and jumping ability.
Aji who airballs the 3. Didn't even look Gilbeck's way. He was way up top. Less than 2.5 to go. Kenny Manigault's got a step, floats it up and in. Number 55 once again coming to the rescue for the Kings.
Yeah, just execution down the stretch. The Kings and Manigault especially just getting what.
The foul first as the Dreamers got a switch. So Manigault in the second half already with 12 points. As you see, the arms get tangled up between Kyle and Gilbeck.
Playing percentages, though, it's not the worst thing that you can do if you're the Kings to make Gilbeck, who's had his ups and downs at the line, continue to try to earn those points from the stripe. The bad part for the Kings, though, is that it stops the clock and lets them have a chance to score.
He has pulled his average up to 8 for 17, or 47%. As on the Dreamers bench, Kahneman will head to the scorer's table. First one made, the 13 points on the evening for Brandon Gilbeck, along with 11 rebounds and 2 block shots. And that free throw is huge, obviously for the score, but also for the quick substitution.
Yeah, Gilbeck deserves some rest, and Kahneman really had that hot hand in the third quarter and was able to have his way inside the paint and hit down a 3. So see if he can continue to be a spotlight for this Dreamers offense. But they're going to have to find out a way to stop the Kings, especially Manigault, who's had some nice baskets here in the last few minutes.
They got the switch as James pump faking, going to the right side, and nice patience. Dreamers trying to contend for a travel on the play. And again, Aji on the ball screen. They do have the switch, but Doug crowds the space. On the repost and a little bit offline with the pass. Right in the hands of Joseph. He'll go left side and with a finger roll. The Kings, a great stop and then a score will force the Dreamers to call a timeout. The lead is now sitting at 8 points. As you can kind of understand the Dreamers offense going really predictably, trying to get a post up, but they turn it over and pay for it with a fast break layup. Previously, it's Kenny Manigault, who has 7 points on the quarter. And then James had the block earlier, and now the patient lay-in, as this time Joseph Lin lays it in cleanly, no foul.
Yeah, on that last post up, you would like to see Carman, you know, at least look at the basket, get 1 or 2 dribbles to the hoop, cause the weak side defense to help, and then you have that kick out 3. But when he doesn't look to score the ball at all, the help side defense doesn't have to rotate over and shift so much, and they can play those passing lanes. They ended up with that steal.
And like I said on the play, it was curious spacing that Doug Creighton came over on the baseline, bringing Manigault, who, as we mentioned before, leads the league in steals, and so far in these playoffs has also been a big threat on the defensive end. We gave him credit for his work in the first half. So far on the series, 4.3 steals per game, and there you see Gilbeck will be checking in for the Dreamers. But same personnel for the Kings out of the break. Now with 1 minute 24 seconds, I'm definitely curious as to how much urgency the Dreamers need to be playing it with a 3-possession difference. Gilbeck with the early screen. Achi going, and there was a foul. Looking at the board, that's James' 5th personal, I believe. So really reaching to the bottom of the barrel if the Dreamers can go at number 17 again. Achi only 1 for 2 on a previous trip. Good with the first one. Alongside with Ryan, Chen, Doug, and Gilbeck. For the Kings, Amigo, Manigault, James, Kyle, and Joe. Good with the second one. James thought about it, but now looking for Manigault on the handoff. 7 seconds left. Joe stopped by Aji, who falls down low to James. He puts it on target, and a goaltending by Doug through the rim. And a huge basket.
James, man, just being patient in the offense, and he's going to be a big reason the Kings can sort of wrap today up if they finish things out strong, just because Quincy Davis goes out, Byron Mullins still not back maybe 100%, but he's provided some quality minutes on both ends of the court.
Now they really got to hurry. Achi again sees the screen as Gilbeck, easy 2. Got Amigo down low. Pretty much need to hold the Kings scoreless the rest of the way. Joseph Lynn with Amigo at the high post. Kenny cuts but takes it out. The clock is on the Kings side. He works left and probably got away with one as that pass back to Kenny Manigault. No, they whistle out of bounds. I want to take a look at the clock. But substitutions as the Dreamers not showing a lot of energy in their step. They'll head to the bench.
Yeah, the Kings maybe didn't get a good shot off that time, but they did what was most important. They used up all 24 seconds of the shot clock. So the Dreamers down 6 with 16.76 seconds. It's not a lot of time. They're going to try to have to draw something up, a 3-point shot here, just, you know, without letting more than 3, 4, 5 seconds of the game clock go off.
Like you mentioned, they do have a huge advantage with Gilbeck if they want to hit something quick. They did get an alley-oop before. Let's listen in.
小杰，你会来切入哦，也会来切入。阿奇，所以招娣会先走，是吧 ？B 区先 go，B 区 you Kirk first，go to the opposite side。招娣。 小杰在这里哦，阿奇，你挡小杰，阿良快点他 ，on the hammer，one more，one more，快 ，opposite side，B G，go，倒地，阿奇挂小杰，如果他不让你没关系，你可以这边直接走，你先压上来，搞不好这边可以回头，阿良可以看他直接切。 一样看一下，他有可能会他不让你，直接回头绑。 牵手还要后挡吗？一样，后面照做。走，今天都拜托看，你欢迎他们。然后你先自己有机会走。Let's go, let's go, let's go.
So the Dreamers just focusing on one play as Coach Eric giving a lot of instructions, testing if the boys were paying attention. A lot of different counters and different ways the Kings can be playing this possession defensively, but not even looking ahead to the next stop or the next score. I heard a lot of Doug moving this way and that way, and Achi sounds like the primary ball handler.
Yeah, the thing about the Kings lineup right now too with their smaller lineup is they'll switch a lot of these screens. So the Dreamers, knowing that, you know, maybe creates an extra challenge to try to create that space on the perimeter to get a three-point shot off if that's the way you're looking to go.
And like I suspected, the referees are going to the monitor to see the exact time that should be on the game clock as Manigault was falling out of bounds. May be able to get a second and a half back. Definitely wish the referees could have took that chance during the timeout. Now he'll go to the scorers table as they put 17.76. Now the tricky thing about some of these arenas is that you have to stop it manually at a certain time. They get it in one go, so credit to the scorers table. Gilbeck running down low, Aji screening, Jay going baseline, nothing yet. And they issue their 30-second timeout, so good job by the Kings to force the Dreamers to burn their only player called timeout, not even getting a pass off.
Yeah, that's hats off to the Kings, and lots of switch in there, lots of quick guards for the Kings that can really just bother this early entry pass. Dreamers might have to send a big, almost Gilbeck posting up outside the three-point line to lob it into him and then maybe get a handoff or screen away from him. He can deliver a pass to a shooter.
If you're looking at best three-point shooters purely on the game, Karaman 3 for 5, but not tabbed as the personnel on the last play. Doug 2 for 7, Achi 2 for 6, Jay Chen 2 for 4, Ryan 2 for 3.
Man, I feel like you have to go for 3 points in this scenario, down 6, and Gilbeck not being a three-point shooter. I'm a little bit surprised we don't see that man on the screen, Karaman, in there, just as another guy who can create his own shot on the perimeter.
He wouldn't be that much of a minus if they started to have to defend full court. But it's going to be same personnel. Dreamers in a line formation. Achi the first to go. Then Gilbeck, then Jay. They screen for Doug, who's covered up. He takes the deep three. It's going to be short, and Manigault fouled right away by Gilbeck. You've got to attend to that hand. He revealed that he had a pop tendon during the regular season, but give him credit for playing through it for weeks on end. Again, the Kings do a good job matching up, forcing it to a very difficult three-point attempt. Manigault still perfect on the game from the line. $18 points on his evening. Less than 10 seconds left in the game. 3-possession lead. Achi looking ahead as Kyle had him marked, but dribbling out way too much time. Now he's going to go to the, as Gilbeck throws it on target but off, and the red lights are on. The buzzer is sound. That'll be it for the series as the new Taipei Kings get the victory 108-100, but not for a lack of trying on the Dreamers' part, who were down 17 at half. Tying the game up, if I remember correctly, 67 points, and certainly looked dangerous for the Kings out there with Byron Mullen taking a hit to the leg, not coming back, and Quincy Davis fouling out. But it turns out one of the heroes down the stretch was James with the defensive effort and the score down low.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. James and Manigault sort of just controlling the paint on the defensive end, making sure that Gilbeck and the rest of the Dreamers didn't go off in the paint, and then providing some big shots and clutch shots in the end game offensively.
And of course, we said that the Kings imports weren't scoring the basketball much, but in the all-critical fourth quarter, Kenny Manigault came in with 11 points, 4 for 4 from the line, which was huge. As the final goodbyes are said between these two teams, early on in the quarter was Kyle Lee Kaien, who was a perfect 3 for 3 from the field. And despite making 5 turnovers on the game, the Kings and this extra small lineup really show off their poise and send the Dreamers home once again on a Game 4, but this time at home.
The Kings really, took the Dreamers' best punch in the third quarter, but they just showed you that, championship, first place in the regular season type of composure. In the fourth, they came out, they played their style of basketball, knocked down their shots, and did what they needed to do.
And Amigo is standing by with the post-game interview.
Hey, 你好。
Asked about the preparation for the Kings heading to this fourth game.
因为上一场确实对方准备的比我们还充足，那我们也确实被对方狠狠的揍了一拳嘛。那当然因为比赛输了，然后当然例行赛还没有结束，那我当然就是集合球员，然后重新再把 大家的想法、思想做一个统一，这样子。
And Amigo sharing that the opponents seemed to be better prepared, but they had another chance and they got on the same page with a few meetings amongst the team and the staff.
我觉得大家都有一致的想法，然后也有共识，然后当然因为白人的问题，然后导致我们内线可能比较缺乏。那我觉得每一个上来的球员都有去顶替好他的位置，这样子。
Amigo giving credit to the rest of his teammates for everyone making contributions when Byron Mullins
可能脚还是有点不舒服吧，因为可能比赛本来就是篮球本来就是一个肢体碰撞的运动项目，那可能脚有一些撞到或什么之类，然后当下确实比较不舒服这样子。
And Amigo sharing what we already knew, but Mullins maybe some discomfort that he couldn't play through. Now asked about the fatigue and energy level of Amigo.
从今年赛季开始去对我去做一个调整，然后也适当的做保护，然后让我在可能下半场会有更多的力气，可以在场上去帮球队去做更多的贡献，这样子。
And Amigo thanking the staff for managing him through the regular season, leaving him with plenty of energy, certainly in this series, and we'll see about the next one as they have moved on to the finals. Now asked about having to play the power forward position.
其实平时训练他都蛮积极、蛮努力的，然后他也都做到，不管是球队给他的设定。那其实这个阶段的前2场主场其实他打得也非常好，大家也看得到。那当然，因为可能上一场确实。整队的不管是心态啊等等不在场上，那当然这一场他确实也顶替了拜仁最后受伤这个位置嘛，然后他后面几分钟上来，他也去帮助球队做很多的建功，不管是进攻还是防守。
And Amigo sharing that Big Sushi is really good in practice, very proactive, and played well the first 2 games, but maybe needed a reset after the last game. Now asked about the matchup with the Braves.
我很兴奋，因为去年确实错过一次机会，然后这是我3年来第2次再挑战冠军战。那当然，我很想为我自己，也为我的城市，还有我们城市的球迷去争取到最高的荣耀。
Amigo sharing he's excited for another chance at the finals. Previously, as a member of the Dreamers in the inaugural year, to win it for his city and win it, of course, for his teammates. And so thanks for Amigo for answering several questions in the post game before we throw it to break and wrap things up for the final game of this series between the Kings and Dreamers. On the Mandarin side is Xiaohu Hu Junxi and Cai Bao, who took you the entire way on the Mandarin broadcast. We'll go to our set break and back after this. A final word from Taichung, where the Formosa Taishin Dreamers season has concluded after, albeit a really healthy effort. Of course, still facing elimination for a second straight game, but in front of their home fans, making a valiant effort, down big in the game. And they really showed what they're all about with their no back down attitude, but their season has been concluded to the #1 team in the regular season in the new Taipei Kings, setting up a MRT finals in the two twin Taipei cities. But Kirk, once again, the Dreamers on back-to-back seasons facing elimination, but putting out a valiant effort till the very end.
Yeah, it was a lot of fortitude, Ryan. That third quarter run where they outscored the Kings by 16 was huge. They lacked a little bit of execution down the stretch, but you have to give hats off. You know, they were playing against the #1 team of the season. The Kings won more games than anybody else for a reason. They got a lot of talent, and they had a lot of different members step up, so doesn't take away anything from the fact that the Dreamers still, you know, came out, competed hard, and had a season to be proud of as well.
So in the very last quarter, 36-29, really so much for us talking about how defense will matter in the end. So as we mentioned, the finals will get started on June 3rd. Now we know it'll get started in Xinzhuang Gymnasium, home of the Kings. So thanks a lot, Kirk, for joining us on this broadcast. It's been a real great one. We have the finals to move on to.
Yeah, always a pleasure, Ryan. Great to be here in this playoff atmosphere, and I wouldn't miss it.
See you guys in the next one.
男传奇35号来自土耳其的传联队。